I need to make a video about recent events that have happened. Um, the last video I made, um, I was talking about how that I went to Atlanta, and when I was there, things didn't come out the way I expected. And in this one, I want to give you an update because some significant things have happened. But let me start off with Song of Solomon, chapter 2. Starting in verse 9, my birthday is 9/15/57. My beloved is like a roe or a young hart. Behold, he standeth behind our wall. He looketh forth at the window, shewing himself through the lattice. My beloved spake and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. Sounds like springtime. The time of the singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land. The fig tree putteth forth her green figs, and the vines with the tender grape give a good smell. Arise, like the rapture! Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. I believe the Lord Jesus Christ sees me as symbolic of his bride, the church. My birthday is 9/15/57. In the year 2015, notice my birthday is 9/15/57, I will be 57 years old. And notice this passage about the rapture of Christ's bride, the church, starts in verse 9. But it kind of starts in verse 10. I wonder if the rapture of the church might be in May 9th or 10th, 2015. I don't know. I just find it very interesting that I'm going to be 57 years old. We know Jesus did let us know that the rapture is going to be in the spring because we asked him, but he said he's not going to tell us any more than that. And he doesn't want me focused about this, but I just thought I'd bring it up, kind of a note of interest. Jesus said he would fill me with his semen, so he obviously considers me representative of his bride, the church. I'm not saying I'm his bride, but interesting that I'm going to be 57 years old in May 2015. You say, what about why the month of May? Well, I have stuff at my website about this, but the Feast of Harvest, which is connected to the rapture, the first fruits for the Feast of Harvest occurs in, I believe, the month of May. So one day in May, I'll come and say, Happy the bride the sun shines on today. What a wonderful wedding there will be. What a wonderful day for you and me. Church bells will chime. You will be mine in apple blossom time. I'm looking forward to being with my husband, Jesus Christ. I'm part of his bride, the church. Looking forward to it. I don't know. It may not be the rapture in May 2015, but that's uncanny. And did you know Brent Spiner is going to be 66 years old during that time, too? Something about these numbers, man. I believe the numbers are inspired in the King James Bible. Maybe not the rapture, but something significant going to happen on May, maybe 9th or 10th, 2015. I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is, but I'm not sure. Now back onto this stuff about, let me tell you what happened. I just heard from Brent, Gerard Butler, Matthew McConaughey, Hugh Jackman, Terrence Jenkins, and Vladimir Putin, and they paid a surprise visit to my Atlanta relatives. I just came back from Atlanta, and they were all treating me like I was crazy. Well, I just found out that the Jesuits paid my relatives a visit and warned them if they didn't act like I was crazy that they would kill them. The Jesuits threatened to kill them if they wouldn't act like I was crazy. They were instructed to behave in a manner to treat me like I was an insane woman, and if they wouldn't do this, that they would be killed. So pray for my Atlanta relatives. Now, I believe that my son, Eric Schuler, has been suffering from schizophrenia, not paranoid schizophrenia. I want to make a correction here, because the Jesuits at Crazy Gail Wiki are claiming that he has paranoid schizophrenia. I never said paranoid schizophrenia. There's a big difference between paranoid schizophrenia and schizophrenia. Because my son does not exhibit paranoid symptoms at all. However, he's been having problems recalling major events in his life. I mean, to have a sexual relationship with a significant sexual relationship with a woman and completely forget about it is pretty. And then to think that he was at a totally different place instead of where he was, he totally forgot about his incident with Rule 13 and Brianna Jenkins Schuler. Well, anyways, to make a long story short, after I left Atlanta, Brent Spiner decided to take a private jet out to Atlanta with my relatives, and he took along with him Matthew McConaughey, Hugh Jackman, Gerard Butler, Vladimir Putin. They all flew in. They parachuted down onto the top of my relative's house, and you could hear the clanking on the roof, and they said they heard scurrying inside the house, like all my relatives were thinking, what's happening? Something just landed on our roof. And then they jumped down from the roof down to the ground, and my relatives were looking at them through the window and seeing all these bodies coming down from the roof down to the ground. They're probably thinking, what is going on here? And Brent Spiner plopped himself right in the front door, knocked on the door, and my relative, she opened the door, and he says, hi, I'm Brent Spiner. I just wanted to come here to show that your relative, your Gail Schuler's not crazy. And she said, you need to come inside. It's not safe for you to be out here. So she let in Brent Spiner, Hugh Jackman, Matthew McConaughey, Vladimir Putin, Gerard Butler, and Terrence Jenkins into the house and got him to the living room. While they were there, Brent told them that he is the real Brent Spiner, and that he said, Gail, your relative Gail is not crazy. Everything she says about us is true. My son, Eric, was there. He was looking Brent Spiner square in the face, and he says, you're a fraud. You're a fake. I don't believe you're the real Brent Spiner. Would you believe it? The real Brent Spiner was sitting in front of my son, and my son was telling him he was a fake. And Brent Spiner said, I knew you would say this. This just shows you how good Jesuit brain control technology is. Even with the real Brent Spiner sitting in front of my son, he still couldn't acknowledge that he was dealing with the real Brent Spiner. Apparently he forgot. He doesn't know what Brent Spiner looks like. Brent Spiner doesn't look like he did back in 1990 and 91. He's got white hair now. He's kind of aged a little bit. So maybe my son, and he doesn't have his data makeup on. So maybe my son didn't recognize him. So Brent Spiner said, I knew you'd say this. And then Hugh Jackman went to the front door and opened the door, and in rushed Brianna Jenkins Schuler. And she said, come on, Eric, let's go downstairs. I'm going to explain to you everything that's happened. And from what I understand, Eric and Brianna Jenkins Schuler got together, and she's been nurturing him with her body. And apparently her body has healing powers, just like my nude body has healing powers with my men. I don't really like making nude videos. It's kind of, I was kind of uncomfortable about it, but I'm willing to do anything for my men to help them because they've gone through so much. I mean, during the trial between Brent and Laurie, Brent Spiner was forced to endure. He was in love with me. And during the trial, the Jesuits are so clever, they came up with this partial switch out where the bottom half of his body was him. That was his sexual organs and everything down there. They can do a partial clone switch. On the top half of his body was the clone. So the brain was the clone. They did a partial switch out so that Brent Spiner would go to the bathroom, even though he didn't want to go to the bathroom. And I'm not sure which part of the body was the clone, but half of his body was the clone, half was Brent Spiner. So he was forced to go to the bathroom at the courtroom against his will and have sex with Laurie McBride. Can you imagine what that must be like to be forced to go to bed with somebody you can't stand? When the woman in doing so, you're betraying the person that you would die for. And it makes complete sense that when it was all over, he was trying to cut his wrist and saying, and Judge Terrence Jenkins was saying, Gail, talk to Brent. He's going to kill himself. I said, Brent, I just believe you, sweetie. Don't do this. We're going to find a way out of this. I know you didn't want to do that. I know they controlled your brain against your will. I know you didn't want to go to have sex with Laurie McBride. Anyways, After Brianna Jenkins Schuler spent a couple hours with Eric, he came back and said, I'm cured of my schizophrenia, but please pray for them. These Jesuits are so clever that uh, he might regress a little bit. So just pray for him. But I'm proud of my men. And I would like you to go to, I'm going to mention a link. Go to churchofgail.com and read our latest post to see what my men had to say about this. But they had a lot of guts, man. And anyways, they left and they took off in their supersonic jet, and my family waved goodbye to them. And Eric went and hugged Brent Spiner and said he was a douchebag for the way he treated me when I was there. But I don't hold it against my son. He's a victim of brain control technology. But I'm just saying my men are awesome. And I boasted about them at churchofgail.com. I've sponsored the link at the bottom of this YouTube video. Read my text below for my comments. And click on that link and read in more detail about all that happened. And my boast. I also give a brief history about all my men, about my relationship with Brent Spiner, Matthew McConaughey, Gerard Butler, Hugh Jackman, Vladimir Putin, Terrence Jenkins, and how they all came to be in my life. So just go to my website and click on the link there and find out the truth, man. If some of you are saying, oh, I can't believe, you're going to say Vladimir Putin's got a wife named Ludmila. We all know Matthew McConaughey's with Camila Alves and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to say this, okay? These Jesuits are really smart. They were behind the Nazi Holocaust in Germany, and they got away with it. Everybody thinks it was all the Germans' fault. And the Roman Catholic Church sponsored the Nazi war machine, and they got away with it. They've got to be really brilliant to have pulled off a number like that. These are not stupid people. They know how to lie. They know how to put fake photographs, fake movies up there. They know they've got cloning technology, mind-reading technology. I mean, it's nothing to them to be able to fake out the public like this and create fake wives and make it appear real. So go to churchofgail.com. Go to my website, GabrielChana.com, and learn the truth. And let these stinking, creeping, lying Jesuits be exposed for the frauds, killers, deceivers, and brilliant liars that they are.